So I just got done watching episode 1 of I Parry Everything, a show that I thought to myself, that title, that sounds fun. Character who simply has to parry all of his attacks for one reason or another, that sounds like fun. Apparently I didn't pay attention to the poster image because I thought he used a shield. Turns out, no, he uses a sword, he just has no offensive attacks or abilities. And very quickly into this episode, I thought to myself, this seems fun. Okay, he's gonna go up against some minotaur-like creature, he's calling it a cow, that's a little funny. And then most of the episode did what you would normally see in episode 2 or 3 do, but they did it at the start in episode 1. And honestly, I have to give a little round of applause and respect because most of the time, these shows, whether the source material does it or not, but often animes will like redirect and reorganize because the first episode needs to have that oomph. It's got to immediately catch you off guard, catch you by surprise, and set expectations that you want to tune in for episode 2. And the way you do that is typically not dropping a 15-minute backstory where you learn about why this kid lost his parents, why he trained, and literally doing very simple things. But honestly, because they went this direction rather than just, okay, here's Hercules carrying all these bags of, everyone was carrying one at max and he had like 20 stacked up. Usually it'd be like, okay, let's focus on this fight, let's see where a princess, or I'm not sure exactly who she's supposed to be, but she definitely has money if she has that many guards working for her. You would just really set up a fun action scene, some funny moments, and then maybe episode 2 or 3 you would show that backstory that we got in this episode. But I think the big reason I come out of this episode so excited for episode 2 is that Nora is a character, because of that backstory, because of the slow burn and just really getting to know him as a person and how hard he trained, then watching him beat that fool, and by literally just parrying, it makes the victory but also his desire to still be stronger so much more impactful, because this is a kid who, when he was like, I don't know, probably 12 or something, he went through every single training school, failed all of them, the only skill he picked up was parrying. 10, 14 years later, he still feels like he doesn't have what it takes to be a proper adventurer. You actually feel like, rather than this being one of those goofy shows where it's like, well, look at how strong he is, how could he view himself as weak? All those knights got slaughtered and he was able, after 5 or 6 parries, to take down a giant minotaur-like beast. But because of the way they handled the backstory, because of the way they structured this episode, you come out saying, he's actually not just a goof, a meme of a character. He seems like a lovable, respectable guy that, goddamn, do I want to see his journey, and I highly recommend this one. Full live reactions over on Patreon if you want to see my full and good thought to this wonderful first episode or any of these future episodes. It's going to be over there exclusively. I walked in with very low expectations. I'm not going to say I expected this show to be bad, but I was expecting to be like, oh, that's probably fun. We'll see where it goes. Like, I guess the best way to put it, the strongest magician in the Demon Lord's army, from Tuesday or whenever it airs, Wednesday, something like that. That's a show that's like, okay, I'm gonna watch the next episode, but I'm not really like I'm not drooling for that show. It's just like, it's a fun watch. That's what I walked in thinking. It's gonna be a fun watch with maybe, I was expecting bird brain. I was expecting muscle brain. Someone who is stupid but could parry really well. And the first couple of minutes, I mean, you can understand why I thought that. Usually characters who are so good at doing like defensive moves but can clearly one-shot people are typically very stupid characters. They're kind of jokes and memes. And the first bit, he just kind of looks like he's Hercules bringing up all the supplies for the construction. It doesn't look like he's like the sharpest tool in the shed. And then you get the backstory and it all gets proven differently. And now I leave this episode saying, I'm dying to see episode 2. Honestly, these are the types of first episodes that just click with me so well that if the show was already over, I probably would have had half of the show done already. Like, it's just that fun for me. The idea that you actually go about an emotional, but not tearjerker backstory. We start his backstory off with his dad already dead. Mom wasn't looking too hot to begin with, so you knew she wasn't making it. But I'm thinking, okay, they're gonna go like, something's gonna attack them in the middle of the night. That's when he's gonna learn about parrying. No, she just simply died. Nothing over the top, just simple death. And the idea that he then ends up, he looks after himself for some time and then eventually goes to a guild, and the guild guy is basically like, I can't just take anyone, you gotta go to school. So then he goes to school, and after a few months the only thing he picked up was parry, and that's clearly not enough to be an adventurer. So he goes to archery, thievery, like all these different schools of trades, and none of them say he has skills. So he, for 10 years after that, masters parrying to the point that he can now, you could summon unlimited blade works and he could parry that in one swing. 1,000 swords at one time is insane. But obviously, when you've gone your whole life and you can do this one thing. Yeah, he's picked up, you know, he got a quick step, a minor heal. He's got a few extra bells and whistles in his arsenal these days, but still not enough to be a proper, even E-rank adventurer. But an F-rank where you're kind of just handyman and you do odd jobs for people, he can do that. And what I really appreciate is that usually with these characters that are clearly insanely strong, they underestimate how strong they are. And in doing so, you can kind of look at it and be like, is this idiot serious? But usually these types of shows go very funny, so it just kind of becomes like a running gag in the show. Where with here, it's like, okay, he's clearly very strong. He doesn't really look at what he did as anything special, because for him, it's like, Jesus, like, anything bigger, I would have died. Okay, yeah, I clearly still have a long way to go. When you look at it objectively, all those knights were getting slaughtered, and they actually brutally killed them. I wasn't expecting that. I thought they might get hit a couple of times or they'd kill him off screen. No, like, you actually saw them get spliced and diced. But the idea that he's gone 14 years of training and all he can do is basic parrying, and one wrong move he would have died, like, it's understandable why he feels like he doesn't have as much skill, as we can clearly see he has more skill than he's letting on. It's just, yeah, he can only parry. It's a gimmick for sure, just like, okay, you know, I can parry everything, it's in the title. But it's a gimmick that really works, and they're utilizing it in a way that doesn't come across as super cliche and boring. And I think the biggest thing that helps sell this show is that Nor as a character, he's not some muscle brain who doesn't realize how strong he is. He's not some goody two-shoes who can do no wrong. It's like he was just a normal guy with a family, lost it all, and wants desperately to be a hero. And at every step of the way, the world has turned him away, and he's trying his damnedest. And I'm really interested to see where they're going to take it. And I was actually pleasantly surprised by the visual production of this show. It actually looks really well done. I love the art direction. The opening's animation was quite surprising. The song was great, the ending song, and honestly just way better than I was expecting. And I think probably way better than a lot of people were expecting. I don't think I remember, even when I did my What Will I Watch, I think maybe I had a couple of people mention they were going to watch I Will Parry Everything, but I didn't hear about source readers. I didn't hear about, like, this just kind of felt like, oh, you look at it at face value, here's the generic, just kind of fun action show of the season. But I like it. I like it a hell of a lot. And honestly, still early into the season, but if Oshinoko's opening wasn't as good as it was, I'd probably give this opening my current favorite. But fantastic stuff. Let me know what you thought of the first episode, and did you enjoy it as much as me, and are you going to check out episode 2 next week, because I definitely am. Let me know down below. Be sure to leave a like if you enjoyed, subscribe if you're new around here, of course, ring that bell, and like I mentioned, we got those full live reactions over on Patreon, and hey, while you're over there, I'll also give you a video shout out. Alright, so today we got Jose Raffo Coster, Arctic Fox, Kiara Piranha, Phoebe Yu, Nicole, Mantis Sargillis, and Robin Berlin. So I appreciate the support, everyone. Please take care, and y'all have a good one.